Welcome back, everybody, to Quiet Mountain Radio. We are resuming our current playthrough, no longer a listen along. It is now a true watch along.
Isn't it exciting?
It is, very much so, of Rule of Rose. And now that we're through with the history lesson of this often forgotten psychological horror game, we are ready to really dig deep into this and just kind of see where it takes us.
I hope you took notes. There will be a test
Usually.
at the end.
Yeah, usually he makes a really, really hard test. I don't even get the questions right anymore. But we left off at not really a clean spot here. We were just called downstairs to a funeral of our old friend. So let's go see what that's all about.
So the kids are our friends?
I don't think the kids are our friends, but I
But
think
the funeral is for
is for a friend.
a friend? Okay.
A friend. I was kind of thinking this whole setting of the game. It takes place in this crazy, boarding school, private school, and
La-di-da.
I was thinking between sessions about like things that I could just kind of bring up just to hear your opinion. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I wonder if Derek's ever been to boarding school. And then in that like half second, I thought I've known him my entire life.
You have known me.
He's
Yeah.
never been to boarding school. So Derek, tell me, have you ever been to boarding school?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't even think of
No,
anything
it's
funny
just
to riff on that.
not
actually.
even a follow up on that.
No.
So I don't know anything about boarding school. It's just a completely foreign concept to me. I don't even. I couldn't even go through like my list of contacts and be like, hey, you know what? This person went to boarding school. This person went to, private school here, and there. So in my mind, everything that happens in this game is just par for the course for boarding school. Like this probably happened to somebody. They probably had some sort of nightmare scenario that we'll all see unfold. And if this happened to you, please tell us. We would love to talk to you and know how you ended up in a World War I airship.
Spoilers.
Well, we're getting there. So all these doors are locked, and all I can hear is a dog crying, and I'm starting to get a little stressed out.
Very, very, yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, the fixed cameras didn't really help out there, but as I'm demonstrating to Derek, the right analog stick does absolutely nothing in this game. I don't know if it'll be used later, but
He did demonstrate.
there is no need for that. There is no ability to change the camera, and we've talked about it before in the past, but it is something that I just genuinely adore about these kind of games, is that they use the fixed camera angles to their benefit. That's not considered like a hindrance. It's considered like, yeah, of course it's got fixed camera angles. It's a horror game, So we're gonna go.
It's a bit misleading with this one because, I mean, maybe not here, but when you first started the game, I actually thought you were in control of the camera.
Oh, sure.
Because it wasn't like Resident Evil or Silent
Oh,
Hill, where
sure.
the camera is very obviously,
Fixed.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're looking at your character from like a security camera kind
Right.
of
Yeah. The
placement.
camera never moves. Only your character does. It's just static in every scene. In this one, the camera does follow you. It moves with you, but you have no control over it. It's just sort of like a
Focus.
panning shot.
As you could tell from when we went down those stairs, it obviously is just targeted at the player,
Sure.
or the player character,
Yeah.
I should say, regardless of any kind of obstructions to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it just maybe for some reason there wasn't a screen transition set up properly there. But,
Yeah. There wasn't. I was just sort of under the stairs.
but earlier, I don't really want to talk over this necessarily, but earlier there was a scene where you went under like a staircase, and that staircase went transparent.
It
which
did.
is an easy way
Yeah.
to get around that issue with fixed cameras.
Yes.
So let's watch this here. See, kids are creepy.
Yeah.
Just look at you. You're filthy.
It's not very nice.
These cutscenes are pretty impressive for a 2006 game. PS2.
PS2, yes, 2006.
Thank you for joining us on our flight. Attention all passengers.
Not to say they're bad, but
In a short while. Please take
for the PS2,
your
yes,
luggage to
yes.
Section 8 of the freight storage compartment. Thank you.
So I'm noticing over the PA system that exists somehow
So-
in 1930.
Yeah.
Did they have PA systems in 1930? I don't know.
I imagine they had something. Yeah.
They're making announcements that sound vaguely similar to a train station or something like
Yeah,
that about your
yeah.
luggage and such. Where is this going?
So if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the scene that people used to have the game banned. Was the main character Jennifer being buried alive, even though we can see here clearly that she's still alive and is not actually being buried in the ground. But that scene of her falling into the coffin was what they used to say, yep, see, look at all this cruelty and brutality against children.
But your character isn't a child.
She is not. But,
Right?
Right. But, I mean, she looks young, but no, she's not a child. She's meant to be an adult woman.
Oh, interesting. The save files are named after months?
Yes.
Or, I mean, presumably it's... No,
As
there
you progress
there you
through
go.
the game. Yep.
So another one of the sort of stated goals at the front of the project on this was to explore what things would be like if the parent-child relationship was reversed, or
Yes.
like if the power had shifted,
yes,
right?
yeah.
So, like if the kids were sort of in charge of everything, and what that would mean for an adult,
Yeah.
in that kind
Yeah.
of society.
And we are...
There's got to be a book that explores that, right?
I
Lord of the Flies?
I know
Is
that
that one of those?
they've drawn a comparison to this in Lord of the Flies, but I guess the developers have said like, oh no, we're not influenced by that at all. Like that Lord of the Flies was never brought up during us making this game.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm wiggling her.
Are you wiggling?
I think so.
I don't know, because there's like these text prompts coming up, so
Yeah.
maybe not.
Just seems like I think I just might have really, really good timing.
So are we on the...
Oh, we're gonna find out where we're
Okay, all right.
How do you feel? Let's have a little chat, shall we?
Yes.
No.
Good girl. Jennifer, you know you've been a bad, bad girl. And bad girls need to be punished, don't they?
Yes.
You're a brave girl.
I bet she says that no matter what it is
Yeah,
you pick.
probably.
Here, okay?
Okay.
Clever girl.
Hey, Jeff Goldblum,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
He was in that. He didn't say that.
That wasn't Jeff
No.
Goldblum that said that.
Going to give you your first order.
He was.
I don't
in the
know that
movie,
guy's
though.
name, though.
No, but you did
The
a good
actors.
enough job to reference it that I think you like.
It's like a B.
It's
Is that like
fine.
A B?
Yeah, it's
C,
fine.
A C+. plus.
Yeah.
Is there anything about this that you don't understand?
Yes.
Something about
Yes. There we go.
Yes.
British children
Oh well.
Does that creep
is like
you out?
inherently creepy.
What you say.
Really?
Inherently creepy.
How
Maybe
come?
because of well, I don't.
Is
Is
it
it
like
any
the-
reason? But like the Resident Evil movie, you know the little.
Oh, I haven't seen that in forever.
But you remember the little digitized girl?
Yeah. Is that a spoiler? Or no? She's
For
always.
like a-
she always. For like a. Do we ever in the movie Resident Evil? Are we ever under the assumption that the little girl is not a computer program?
My orders or else.
No, she's like a digitized version of the,
daughter?
developer's
Daughter?
actual daughter,
Okay.
right?
For some reason, I was
She's like
thinking
the AI, but modeled
Yeah.
after his
Yeah,
daughter, right?
yeah. For
You're alive, but you're
whatever reason, I was
Right.
thinking that we were
rules.
not. Well, that I was thinking that we were, as an audience, under the impression that she
That
was
the-
real for like a moment, but I don't, really want to dedicate a ton of airtime to
Resident Evil film?
the film.
That's okay.
Oh no,
So they've rigged some kind of jigsaw machine.
yeah. I think this one might be helpful, though. Yeah.
Well, that just defeats the whole purpose, doesn't it?
Of
The
keeping
jigsaw
us...
thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was their intent. I think... rope was cut, snip, snip. I think they just wanted a really cool way to set me free.
So you're in the aristocrat club.
Well...
Is that good or bad?
We are doing our best to join the aristocrat club.
So that thing's blinking. Presumably that means we can pick it up.
I think we get the scissors now.
The scissors.
Or just out
Just
of
out
reach.
of
Oh, we need a stool. I believe this is the save point right here. The blackboard is badly smudged and unreadable.
That's a blackboard?
And the girl examined the headless scarecrow and pleaded, "Lass, please help me find my head. Once I am whole again, I will return the favor."
So we're venturing into old adventure game logic,
Yep.
where somehow putting a scarecrow's head back will give us the key to progress.
Well, it'll give us a save point. And I believe...
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh,
And I
so you save me, I'll save you. I see.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think he also acts as the item box storage in this game. I'll help you in return.
Oh, so you know much more about this game than I thought,
I know a little bit.
because I didn't know that.
I know a little bit. But we'll
Are you
see
gonna
what
give him a
happens.
bucket head?
I am. I'm going to put
Oh
it right
my-
on his noggin.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. There we go. Now we have a friend. So the girl placed the bucket in its
See, now-
proper place. It spoke. "I am the bucket knight, keeper of promises.
Oh.
Yet, time can be so cruel, for I have aged and cannot remember the past. You know what I refer to, and I know that you know. However, you do not know at the moment, nor can you remember. Let us recall our memories together in order to remember our promise." Story hints. When you aren't sure how to proceed, talk to the bucket knight and select ask for clues in order to receive a hint of what to do next. Boy,
Oh, cool.
where was ask for hints when I was trying to use the boarding pass in the boarding pass box?
Yeah, and that part that was either cut or not cut from the last one.
All right, we'll
Hopefully
find out.
cut.
Hopefully, I hope it is. We're just gonna do a
So
safety
we're gonna
save.
Safety save.
Safety save. You never know.
So, an entire month passed? Because the last save was called March.
It was.
Or was it like March 31st?
I think it may have been March 31st.
Okay.
So
So we're on April Fool's Day now,
I think so.
presumably.
Something like that. Yeah. Second.
Cargo Bay.
And Cargo
Okay.
Bay.
Where are we? Some kind of ship?
Ooh, can we look at that? What is this?
Must be able to.
Aha! You are invited to the Aristocrat Club, Red Crayon Aristocrats. I think that. Yeah. Okay, we're going this way.
Red Crayon.
Red Crayon.
So, I kind of know what the Crayon Aristocrats are,
Sure.
or that they exist.
Within the game world, or
Right,
Okay,
within the game world.
Sure.
I know that they exist.
Ooh. Okay. Not
Now, that one said specifically red. So, is there like different color aristocrat
There is.
clubs?
I think there is. No, I know there is only the Red
Oh, okay,
Aristocrats.
okay.
The Red Crayon, rather, Aristocrats.
Is that the whole name? Is the Red Crayon?
Yep,
It's not just Crayon Aristocrat.
Correct. It is the Red Crayon
Oh,
Aristocrat
okay.
Club,
Okay.
and they all have red crayons. Are they gonna let me in?
And they do little doodles on paper bags.
Yep.
And
Oh
wear
yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all a bunch of spooky children. Is this door locked? Is that what just happened here? It looked like she just kind of gave up. Okay, that is locked.
Now, is it locked because
Aha.
it'll never open, or is it locked because you don't have the key?
I think it's sort of like Metal Gear Solid, where the doors will open when they're ready for you to open, for
Okay.
you to go to this area. So,
Okay.
I think I could be totally wrong about that, but we'll find out.
Because there's a couple of ways you can do that. If it'll never open, you could just never let the player interact with it, right?
Right.
It's essentially just painted on.
Yes, but then that tells you
Or-
that will never be a way to go. Then, right?
Right. But then, if you're going to have it where the player can interact with doors that they can't ever go into, I think there should be some kind of code, and Silent Hill 2 has that.
Code.
So when you interact with a door that'll never open, it says it looks like the lock is broken.
Gotcha.
And if you're going to come back later, it says it's locked.
Interesting. I do like that. I think that is something that you wouldn't know on your first playthrough.
No, definitely not.
But it is sort of something that lets you know and kind of remember, like, oh, that's right, the lock's broken, I can't go through this door. I think that when the door is painted on, that is that makes it feel like I'm in a funhouse.
Yeah.
It makes it feel like I'm in this stage play, right? So I think that when there are doors that I can interact with that will never open, but are still there to be real world objects within the game, I actually really like that, because then not only does it kind of make me think like, oh, well, what's through this door, even if that's never something that comes to fruition, but when you're doing that, it
Get your brain working.
yeah, absolutely. It's kind of becomes like an environmental puzzle that is passively involved throughout the rest of the game. Looking at this post right now of the hierarchy.
See, they look like
the
they're
red
hanging.
crayons.
I thought they were hanging from nooses for a second, but it's just like a family tree kind of thing.
Yeah, like a tier list.
Yeah.
We have the bourgeoisie, and we have the poor and the beggar. Very, very much so, aristocrats. Can we view all of the?
Yeah, with the bourgeoisie.
Wow, yeah. Oh, here we go.
Cutscene.
Yep. Let's find out. Oh boy. Okay, so we check the box, read the poster, open the door, make an offering.
Yeah, do that. That sounds good. Do that.
We have
Choose an offering.
Huh. I don't want to.
Do they want the doggy collar?
I don't
Probably
want to
not,
give
huh?
them stuff. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Let's not give them. Check the box. Okay. What's inside? Cool.
Things can be placed, so presumably
So
that's
we
what
can-
happens when you make your offering, right?
Presumably. Read the poster.
This
This
month's
month's
gift.
gift. A beautiful butterfly. One per person.
Oh boy.
Okay. Open the door. Let me in.
I bet you can't open it. Yep.
Hmm.
Now we're going on what's called a fetch quest.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
We gotta go find something.
Yeah. As the unlucky girl stood helplessly, the door spoke. Give me a beautiful butterfly. One per person. Is that clear? No gift, no entry. Is that clear? Give me butterfly. Give me butterfly. Find one, and you shall be invited to join the aristocrat club. All right.
So are these? So earlier we saw that there was a book that's kind of getting filled out, right? So
I
are those
think
statements
so.
like writing in the book then? Because it keeps referring to your character, not as her name. It keeps saying the girl,
Sure.
the unlucky girl.
Well, why don't we take a look inside the book?
I mean, I don't know if every single thing that shows up there will be in there.
No, but maybe it's been updated. Mommy and Daddy. Hey, hey.
What a wonderful new friend.
The girl and her companion obeyed the rule of Rose. So we have one new page. We're going to follow those creepy little kids down the hallway. I doubt I can go in about half these doors. Oh, hello.
Oh, she's a lockpick.
Or are we peeking through the keyhole?
Oh, you're peeking. Oh.
Ooh, that's kind of spooky. Okay, what are they up to? Huh, okay.
So I wonder if we're the lone adult
In
in this place.
For now.
Okay.
Hey, what's in here? The sick bay.
Ooh,
Oh,
don't want to
good.
go in there.
Oh, hello. Whoa, hello.
There's people.
There's two people. The unlucky girl met Clara, the frightened princess. As the princess looked down, she spoke to the girl with a feeble voice.
How dirty.
Okay. Looks like a grandma there.
The unlucky girl met Hoffman, the strict teacher. When Hoffman caught Jennifer looking at him,
Oh, it's a
he
him.
snapped at her.
Dirty Rich, why are you always shirking your duties?
This is kind of
Rude.
tapping into something that, once again, Silent Hill 2 has gone through, I suppose. When the voice acting isn't really like
Stilted.
top notch,
Yeah.
it can kind of. I think in horror or these kinds of games, it can almost work because it makes you feel kind of like uneased. Like,
Yes.
what's wrong with this person? Why are they?
Yeah,
Why are
why-
they talking like that? You know. It's
I
a little bit-
100% agree. I was really worried there for a second. It would not let me stop looking at the fish picture. I thought we were stuck. I remember reading something about that in regards to the voice acting for Silent Hill 2, which a lot of people like to, tear up and down. And that, was it deliberate or not to have
Well,
it
that's
so
the question,
stilted?
right.
And I think from what I've sort of read and seen, this is the same door. It was. They were deliberately told to have that sort of like stilted, broken, bad acting voice work done just to make it all that much more
Make it creepy.
bizarre. Yeah.
Well, one thing that's kind of counter to that statement is that the voice actor for James in the game wasn't a voice actor and didn't do any voice acting roles beyond Silent Hill 2.
I actually did not know that.
The story I've heard is that he was in Japan. He was a businessman in Japan. Took his kid to try out for one of the roles in the game, and they just had him read the lines to her. And they said, "Yeah, that'll
work. Wow.
As
Okay.
James, yeah. I don't know if that's true. but
Sure.
that's what I've heard.
Wow.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would assume that not every single voice actor in
Probably
Silent
just
Hill 2 has a similar
walked on.
story.
Yeah. Turns out they were all tourists.
Yeah.
So we are
unlikely.
on a giant Zeppelin. We are on a giant airship. The entire setting of the game changed the second we were buried alive. We are no longer at the orphanage. We are at an orphanage analog. This is very similar layout, but we are in the middle of a massive World War, I guess, World War II era Zeppelin.
Okay.
This is
So
entirely
is this
different place.
like a Lost style sort of thing where you died and this is what happens when you die then?
I do not believe, and this is not a spoiler, but I do not believe that Jennifer is meant to be presumed dead
Okay.
or in an afterlife at any point in the game.
Well, maybe we'll find out.
Yeah. And now we're going to...
But given that we're jabbering over the whole game, I think we're losing a little bit of it.
We could let the cutscenes breathe a bit more, I suppose. So we have to go find some butterflies, and or a butterfly. It was kind of vague. It said find a butterfly for each person, but bring me a butterfly, and you are invited into the club. So we are going to try our absolute best to go get a darn butterfly. But I have no idea where that's going to be. It's, we're doing a bit of backtracking, and from what I know, this game has a tremendous amount.
Oh,
of
I'm
backtracking.
sure it does. It's
Yeah.
an old
You have to kind
survival
of
horror game.
yeah, exactly. You have to kind of learn the layout of this really well. I'm trying to think of other games that do that. I mean, obviously, a lot of like the.
Do you get a map? Do you know?
I do have a map.
Does it fill in?
Ooh, good question. Let's take a look after I find this. Ooh, is that a butterfly? It's a butterfly.
Oh, look at that. I thought it was a gem, like an emerald or
An
something.
emerald. Is that just like video game coding in your brain, where if you see something green and shiny on the ground, you're like, "Oh, it's a valuable gem. I
It's
have to
pretty
go
close.
pick it up."
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what other time do you see something that looks green like
Right.
that on the ground besides gems?
But,
in
yeah,
video
that's,
games?
it's certainly not butterflies.
Yeah.
So we talked earlier about cameras and fixed cameras, panning cameras, and it's been a long time since we've talked about it. But you,
Is that dog poking through the door?
that is a little
Oh,
boy.
I see.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
You every once in a while, maybe not as often as you'd like, get to talk about your knowledge of video game development.
Oh, yes.
So I'm always very curious about how things work. You know, I will watch a movie and wonder how they got this shot, or I'll be playing a game and wonder how did this work. You know, it's all just pieces that have to fit together and work as we're doing it in real time, right? So, how does that camera panning and the camera transitions work? You know, how does the game know that as you're walking down that staircase or going down that hallway, that the camera needs to move there. Because is camera even the right? Is that the right word for what it's sort of capturing? I mean, if we're looking
Yeah,
at
I
this
mean, it's a
game right
camera.
now, this is a camera, right?
Right.
But it's not an object. It's how do you?
It's an
I guess maybe
entity.
this is like a bigger question than maybe, but
getting metaphysical?
how do you capture that in the game? How do you tell the program and the game engine that you're working with, look at this right now?
So, to answer the first part of your question, the camera isn't necessarily a physical entity in the game the way
Okay.
those tables and shelves and whatever that was in there
Okay.
are. It's an entity in the sense that on the back end you can mess with settings like its focal length or focal range,
Right. Yeah.
the right
Range.
focal length. That's
Okay. Yeah.
or the field of view, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like right here, we just transitioned. So it's set to spawn where it spawned by default, and then based on what we're seeing, I guess it kind of depends on which scene we're in. But like here, just stand still for a second. So right
Sure.
now it's kind of just above to the side of the door, and your character has I assume has a it's like a little T shape or cross shape, plus sign shaped thing on it. It's I can't remember the term, but you essentially attach it to your character or whatever, and the camera will focus on that.
Okay.
It's essentially the focal point for the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And when you move, I assume there's just a gate or a trigger that you cross, and that tells the game the engine to move the camera, like that. It'll snap it over there.
Okay. So it's all just a series of triggers to
It's kind of like filming, but you have to tell a
point
computer what to do.
What to do. Sure. Okay. I'm also getting really turned around in this airship already. I just realized that after going into that room to get the map, I went directly
we're
back
back
from
here
where
again,
I came.
huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Place all waste paper in the rubbish bin. Take laundry to the filth room.
You can tell this was developed not in this country because they called it a rubbish bin.
A rubbish bin,
instead
yeah.
of a trash can
Yep.
or whatever.
Well, that's the thing, is that this is
But it's also in London, isn't it?
it
Or
is set
England.
in London, developed by a Japanese team. And I just realized that we are now back in our filth room, which is the room that we started in. And I think we are going to figure out how to get all these dang butterflies, and we will see you all again on the Quiet Mountain Radio program.